Hello, fellow Pythonistas. Welcome to another Python with Friends. I hope you've been following this course as we've been going around, playing around with some Python codes and also moving into Pandas. Today, I want us to look into group bys in Pandas and what it does and what we can use it for. So without wasting too much time, we can just move into our browser and our Colab and see what we can do. So I want us to get that data set we've used before. Gapminder .tsv, I guess. Let's just run that, and we can see that quite a number of people have it on their GitHub. I guess this is the data, right? So I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy the raw format. Now I'm going to open a fresh Colab notebook, empty, new notebook. Yep, I'm going to change this to, let's say Pandas. Groupby. Good. So I'm going to import the package I need. I think for now, I think I only need Pandas. So I have to say, are you big enough? Let's see. Import Pandas as PD. I might want to also check the version I'm working with in case Colab has made some upgrades. Doesn't really matter. So I'm going to drop the URL of the raw I just copied now. I'm going to run it. Okay, we can see that our Pandas version is still, I think, 1.35, 1.3.5. Good to know. So we're going to call our data frame, let's just call it gap, right? It's going to be pd.read underscore CSV, open bracket, we put URL. I think we have to put sep. What happened? Let's see if gap works. That's an error. It's telling me I didn't put equal sign here. Good. And our data frame is here with us. Good to see that. Sorry, I want to make some adjustments here. I'm sure we still remember how to subset, just in case. How do we do it? How do we do it? How do we do it? We learned how to subset from rows, you know, and then columns on top, right? We know how to do those. Normally, sorry, I'm trying to use my variable name, the name of my data frame is gap. So I have to remind myself that I'm using gap, not df. So usually this is what we would do to just see what kind of data we're dealing with. Just do a little recap here. I have 1704 entries. And from here, I can see that I have 1704 non-null values. That means I don't have any data that's missing in any of the columns. These are the column names here. And from here, we can see that our column has an object, possibly a string, usually a string. That means anything with quotation marks. The continent also is an object. The year is an integer, int 64. We can see that here. That means it's a year, it's an integer, right? And the life expectancy, I think that is what this is a float. That means it has points, it has a decimal point, and it has several decimal places. Then our pop, which I presume must be population, is an integer because you can have 5.5 people. So it's complete, no decimal places. And then we have the GDP per capita, which is a float. That means there are decimal places for the number, so float. What else are we seeing? Yeah, basically that's what we have. Let me play around a bit before we move into the group by. I hope the group by doesn't take too much of our time. Always remember, data frame is gap. So good, you can see the type hints here telling me country. So country, let's use Nigeria, let's see. Do I have type hints? So here we have a series here giving us false, 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 and I'm sure that'll be true somewhere here. What this is just telling us is that, okay, on the whole data frame that we have, the gap data frame, on the column labeled country, here, you can see here 0, Afghanistan, 1, Afghanistan. What we're seeing here is that Afghanistan is not Nigeria, so it gives us false. If there's a place where Nigeria is Nigeria, then it's going to give us true. We can just play around by changing this to Zimbabwe. So we can see now, because the last Zimbabwe is Z, so it's the last country on this data frame, this data set. It is telling us the last is Zimbabwe. Let's just go ahead. Let's go back to our Nigeria, right? Oh, la, 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 la. So let's see, can we check two different things? No. Yeah. Yeah. Now, this is an issue. I don't know what is in the year. Should I say unique? Good. So this is giving me a list. Oops, that's a problem. Sorry. That's a problem when you have too many ways of doing something. So I'm trying to see, okay, the last year we have here is 2007. And 1977. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I want it to show me the column that is Nigeria and the year that is more than 1972, because we don't have 73, 74, 75 here or 76, but we have 77. So let's start from 1972. So let's say year here. I have to cover this in parentheses. If not, I might get an error. Year here is greater than now. Should I put quotation marks or not? Year column here, we can see the year is an int. So if it's an int, I don't need to use quotation marks. So I will just write the year 1972. Let's see what we get. Again. So it's gonna do the same thing. It will only show Nigeria true, where the year is greater than 1972. Now, this is too much data. We have 1704, right? Entries. It's too much for us to visualize. So let's just narrow it down. Let's create a data frame whereby what is true is what is being displayed. This is a bit of a recap, just that I didn't do this the last time. So I'm just adding this slightly complicated way of doing something. So I say gap.loc, right? Remember the LOC we did, look. And here we are. This is the only place we can see Nigeria, and the year is greater than 1972. So you can see from here, from the column year, there is no year that is listed that is less than 1972. All right. We can try by making this less than. Let's see what we get. So we're subsetting from Nigeria. We can see there's no year that is equal to or greater than 1972. What do you think? Yeah, I think we're making some progress. So we're going to move to something called groupby. This is what I know groupby can be used for. You want to break it, let's say, per country, and then you want to find the average population. So you look for the mean, or you find the sum, whatever it is you want to do. So how do we do it? How are we going to do it now? Let's see. So first of all, we put the name of the data set we're dealing with. Ours is gap. And well, I can see something like group by is coming out already. We do something called group by. Group by is a function, so you have to put it in parentheses. You have to put parentheses after, or what do you call it? We call it bracket here. The curved round bracket, call it round brackets. So you put that, and you can see some of our type hints telling us what are we grouping it by? What do we group it by? Let's group it by year. What do you think? Let's group it by year. Or let's do it per country. Do I have type hints? I just want to be sure that my spelling is correct. Should I do it like that, or should I put it here? Good, you see, give me type hints. So we categorize it by country now. And then can we try the life expectancy? Yeah, maybe we should try that. So we're going to subset it. That's why we're bringing the square brackets up now. By life. No, I think I missed something. Did I? How do you spell life expectancy? So after we've done that, then what do we want to find? Let's find the mean, the average. So here we have our group by. You can say average. I'm trying to give it a live x. Just give it a variable name. Now I want to check, what am I dealing with? Average. Nope. What did I do? Lex. What is that? And the things are too many in your head. Good. Trying to forget what could. This is a series. Okay, this is a Pandas series. There's a difference between a Pandas series and a Pandas data frame. This is a data frame. Series is just one column. They are similar, but you're just dealing with them one by one. You can convert one column to be like a data frame, so that whatever you're going to do with data frame, you can do on it. But of course, it's only one column you have. For some reason, there is that division. I don't know why there should be, but Pandas has that division. Maybe you can check it out and put in the comments here. So since we've discovered this is a series, I can't really remember how to play around with series that much. I prefer using data frames because I always work with a lot of data and I don't want to waste our time going back and forth looking for how to do this. I'm sure there's a way to do this with series, but I would just convert this to data frame like this. So here I will call it DF instead, data frame. Right? And so it's a df.info. You see what you're dealing with. You have only one column. and it's down to 142. And that column is called life expectancy. Aha. Aha. Let's break it out. Let's see. So the index now. Index is our what? The name of our countries. So since we know how to subset using the names of countries, we can just do that. So we have DF now. Finally, I'm going to be using DF. So DF dot what? We have to use loc, right? And we enter Nigeria. And that is all we want to see. We just want to see what is the life expectancy in Nigeria, the average life expectancy. Why is it average? Because they're different years. From 1950 something that the data was collected down to 2007, I think, when the data was last collected. This is the average life expectancy. I don't know if it means so much, if it means anything, but we can also play around with other things, right? We can say, let's go back to gap. Is gap all right? Gap is there, good. And what do you want to do? We want to do another group by. And then we want to, what happened? To go by year. And then we want to check for, let's subset by population. Population. And what do we look for? The same thing, mean, the average. No, what happened? Population, there's no column. Made a mistake, there's no column here. Key error, no column found, population. Anyway, there are ways to handle that. I just do gap.columns. Aha, it's pop. That's how they choose to keep it. So here we are, we have the mean every year, the mean population. Let's see. We can also change this by country. And instead of looking for mean, so this is a series we have here, right? We can use, I think it's sum. So this is the sum of the population per country. But I think what it is doing, it is summing all the population for every year, which is not really a useful form of data, but we're just playing around to see what it can do. We can also, I think we can find max. Let's see. Yep. Can find max. So this is how you find the maximum population. What else can we? From here, GDP per capita. We can also find that. Sorry. Country GDP per capita, good. And let's do continent instead of country. Asia, Oceania. Africa has the least, right? The maximum we've ever gotten in Africa is that. Americas have 42,000, whatever that means. Asia has more. Let's see pop. Pop. Asia has the highest population. Yep, that's correct. So the maximum population we have collected has been in Asia. And Africa is also trying, I mean, giving birth. Oceania is the lowest. Europe, Americas also giving birth. What else can we do? Gap, sure you're there. Group by, good. Gap, I mean, group by is a function, so we have to use the round brackets. Then since I want to put a list inside, I want to use different, I want to play around with different statistics, right? Yeah, let's just see. Let's try, sorry. Remember your quotation marks since you're calling columns. Then do continent. What else can I do? Nope, I'm subsetting now. So, because right now I'm subsetting, you know, list is square brackets when you want to subset. So what I did was I said, okay, divide this by year and continent. Then I'm going to subset what I want. Then I will continue from there. So again, since my subsetting is going to be a list, I have to put another square bracket in because it's going to be more than one. So let's see, I could try, I can see life expectancy here. I could just put it here, live. So you're going to help me. I can see population there. So why don't I just copy this? And I just copy the whole of this. And lazily paste it here. Make sure everything's correct. Yeah. So once I've done this, I need to do something. Should I find the mean? Okay, let's look for the standard deviation, STD. All right, so what do we have? This is standard deviation. It's quite a lot, right? Yeah, from year. So we did it year, continent. Let's do something else. Let's switch this. Let's put the continent first before the year. And let's see what happens. What happened? Let's see what happens. Huh? Same thing. So now it's broken by, it first does the separation. Africa first, probably did it alphabetically. A. Yep. Did it alphabetically. Africa, then it booked on the year, then give the standard deviation of the life expectancy, the population, then the GDP per capita, the standard deviation, how it varies from the mean. All right. But what if I want to check, I want to know the mean, and I also want to know the standard deviation? How do I do that? Let me see. I know how to do it another way. I think I have to use an arg function instead of yeah. Let me try. If it doesn't work, then I do the way I know it's supposed to be done. This is arg. Delete that. Should I put mean inside in between? And then put, was that mean? Yeah, std. Would this work? No, it didn't work. Doesn't know what mean is. So I'm going to have to import another library. Sorry. I have to import another library. I'm going to import what we call the NumPy library, and normally we import that as NP. And now I've not talked about this. I've not talked about it. Did I make a mistake here? I don't think so. I'm probably supposed to put square brackets here since I'm doing a list. I'm just running one more. No, it's not working. Okay, let's see. It's my mistake here. I didn't say import. So let me just run it. If it doesn't work, it's the last attempt. Mean is not defined, so it doesn't even know what mean is. All right, so NumPy also has how to calculate mean. So I go mp dot, sorry, what am I clicking on? And here the same thing, mp.std. Yep, it worked now. What were we saying? So what we did here was we have to use this arg function because all my other attempts were failing. And we did the mean, and we did the standard deviation. So here you can see life expectancy is here. The mean is here for life expectancy, and also the standard deviation, the same for population, the mean, same thing here. So let's, you're just trying to see what you can do. And there's also something I want you all to notice. Well, let me just shrink it down a bit. So that we can just have a view of everything. We're dealing with a multi-index here. Same with this part. So 2 indexes, continent and year, then here life expectancy, then there are 2 of them here. Population, 2. So it's a multi-index case we're dealing with, multi-headed multi-index. So this definitely is a data frame. We're dealing with a data frame. We've just created a new data frame that has the data that we need, the data we're interested in, right? All right. So I'm wondering, can we also add, is it mp.max? I can't remember if NumPy up. Yep, it does. Good. Let's shrink it down a bit so we can see we have mean, we have standard deviation, and we have a max. So that must be the maximum life expectancy. Standard deviation. I wonder why it gave it a heading Amax. Well, maybe that's how it works. If you want, you can edit it. I don't think I have so much to share with you on groupby. There must be a ton of other examples you can find online, which I haven't shared with you here. But one thing, especially now that we're talking about indexes. So let me just enlarge it a bit. Let's call it group. Yeah, we just give it a name called grouped. Group dot reset index. So we do, sorry, let me just display the data frame here. I'm going to shrink it so that I don't have to see everything. This is quite a lot. Group dot head. You don't need to see everything to see what we're doing here. So I want to reset the index. I think I can put in place here because I want to do it in place. So what I've done here is I don't want this multi-index. I want to reset it. I want Pandas to give me its own index, 0, 1, 2, like that. So I wanted to split it. I wanted to make continents a column I could play around with, and then make year a column. Because here they're not, here what happened is we have two indexes. That's why it's a multi-index or multi-index. So you can see there are two of them here. So I wanted to, so this code here, the idea is to reset it, but I need to put it in place. If I don't put it in place, it will display it without the index being reset. I'm sure I've explained that before in one of these videos. You can play around with it, do it, don't put it in place and see what the output you get. This here is for me to see the output I get. And I want to do it and I want to see the output. No errors, good. Actually, I should have, if I run this now, I'm gonna get an error. I should have done head just to see some of it. So you can see what has happened here is that continent and year used to be indexed. Now we have reset them, we flattened them. So we moved the index in and they all became different columns. And what is going to happen here is the fact that we will have Africa for everywhere that we have Africa. Then when we're done, we move to Americas and so on and so forth. That's what's going to happen. Then we have our index now. Our index label and our index position are the same now. Prior to this, you know, it's a bit complicated. You know, it's a multi-index. There's Africa, and there's year. These are all the labels. So it's a multi-index, and handling multi-index is a bit tricky. So mostly, it's a lot easier to just flatten the data frame by using this. Reset index, flatten it so that you're only dealing with one index label, which is 0, 1, that down to the last that Pandas has given us. This one here, if we want to subset. Play around with this and let me know. If you love this video, I advise you to hit the like button, hit subscribe. There's also a notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I make new videos. Thank you. Happy coding, everyone. Bye-bye.